Fucking cat.
Okay, let's just do...
Down, you're not allowed to talk.
Yeah, they're being a lot calmer, which is nice because the last one I had to edit out a bunch of... them banging their heads against the table while they were fighting. So, yeah, welcome to Grad Lab. We're back again with...
I'm eating a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, I'm eating a little bowl of fruit with a skewer. But it's Jordan Scribner and Don Fox back again. What day is it? It's July 9th. Wowie, look at us.
We never went to John Larison's garage sale.
It's still going on tomorrow. Larison, we're coming... Actually, this would be after the garage sale, but Larison, this is past us. We're going to go to your garage sale, and we're going to steal everything.
Yeah.
I'm
going to break into his house and just take a shower.
Is that for sale? He should be selling tours of his home. Then we can have the Larison experience. But I don't know, what were we just talking about?
Soap.
I just put Rocket League again. Yeah, we're just hanging out, recording a new episode, and we were just talking about what was it, Kojima and
Hideo
Kojima, and he's been cut loose. He's
wacky adventures
out of the shackles and just going on being like Kojima do. And it's like he's always been absolutely insane. Like all of the stuff that comes out of him for Metal Gear and stuff like that.
That went from like a butt being a plot point to just madness.
I mean the girl who breathes through her skin, so that's why she's
naked. It like went from like Snake thinking Meryl had a nice butt being a plot point.
Yeah.
And
then like
her skin is how she breathes. That's why she wears a bikini.
She has to drink through her skin too, so we'll have this whole scene where she's just like splaying around in the puddles and shit. There's no ulterior motive to that.
Yeah, so much air in that mud.
Yeah. What was it? I know you don't like the Critical Miss comic, but they did have a great strip about that, where it was like...
No, it's not that I don't like the Critical Miss comic. It's that it's only made me laugh once.
Which one made you laugh?
God, the Overwatch one where they just wanted brains.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty great. They had another one that made me laugh. That was... what was it? Around the time that they were making the excuses for Quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's like, oh, she's naked because she breathes through her skin, and then around the same time, the people who did Halo were putting out excuses, just like, oh, Cortana is pretty much naked because she uses it to command attention and distract enemies. And then it had the guy who made, what was it, like Dragon's Crown or something, the one that got a lot of heat for having the characters with just like ridiculous boobs and like proportions that were so far out of the realm of reality that it was disturbing. And he was just like, yeah, I just like boobs, and it's just him sipping out of a Hooters cup.
Yeah, which, the attitude isn't an excuse, but at the same time, it's like, be honest about it.
Yeah, don't like...
Like with Cortana, it's also like, they found a way to not program an outfit for her that also just let them, let them animate her wearing nothing.
And it's like the same issue that I keep having with superheroes, like a male or female, that they're all in the skin tight spandex despite all like any manner of practicality, so that they don't really have to make a costume. It's pretty much just anatomy drawing.
Well, that's also how they used to save time back in the day.
Yeah,
it was a lot, and it was part of the aesthetic, the strongman aesthetic.
Yeah, and that makes sense for that, and I mean even for some characters, but like that's like again, like I keep harping on Babstar Batgirl and like why that character design, like why I like that so much. It's actually practical and it's still stylish and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But we got too far forward with Kojima and him.
Yeah, but who cares about Kojima? He's crazy.
Yeah, he's absolutely. I love the crazy and I love the crazy stuff in the Metal Gears where you're just like fighting a person made out of bees or like a whale that's made out of fire or something.
But now it's just getting annoying where he's just like, yes, here's a new logo. Here's a piece of it. It's part of a robot man.
Yeah.
There might be more of him. We could show you.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to capitalize way too much on that, and they really don't have anything else to show for it. They had
and then they showed it. It was just this crappy, dumpy-looking robot man, and you're like, maybe you could play video games.
Oh, but did you see the trailer that they put out for E3 though? The Norman Reedus thing, where it's like
I don't know how God talks.
Huh? The
Kojima. I don't know how he talks.
Yeah, but they put out the trailer for, I can't remember the name of the game. It's like, I'll figure it out later and like put it in the links or something. But I mean, like anyone who cares knows what I'm talking about. Where it's just like this articulately rendered trailer of Norman Reedus naked on an oil-drenched beach, and he has been disconnected from a fetus that came out of his stomach. And he's just like crying over this fetus, and then there are these 12 godly beings hovering in the background, and then like title screen, this is what we're working on, guys, get excited.
But is that actually what's going on?
That's exactly what it was, like word for word. It's just Norman Reedus, Norman Reedus fetus, the guy who plays Daryl, the crossbow dude, the gritty looking, like long haired kind of country guy from Walking Dead.
The hell's The Walking Dead?
Don't do that.
I don't watch TV, you know this.
I get that, but don't be like,
I don't know which one he is.
Yeah, it does, like if
it doesn't help.
If you don't,
so he's done what I would know.
Yeah, that's fair, but like did I get it? Yeah. But the fact that they had this this trailer that seems just completely fueled by the madness that Kojima has been marketing himself on for all these years, and it's just like we don't have to.
And then it's just a pinball simulator.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a pachinko game or something.
Yeah, he left Konami because they're making nothing but pachinko games. Then he just makes a pachinko game. And he's like, yes, see, this represents the futility of the human experience. Also, pachinko's really popular in Japan.
Yep, that's what he's working on, and I don't have really. I mean, it's just in the one trailer. So
I'm just expecting to see him next time. He's just wearing like an Andy Warhol fright wig, and he's just got completely art house. He's like laying down in the middle of the intersection and just taking a nap, and he calls it the persistence of achievement.
And that's almost his aesthetic when I've seen him in interviews, and it's like a pretty much like Andy Warhol but with black hair, and that's sort of just like the way he's playing off his vision and stuff, and it's like really interesting. I love the Metal Gear, like a lot of the stuff from Metal Gear and all that, but and they've only put out this one trailer, so I have no idea what the hell they're doing, and no one else does, but everyone's all excited because naked Norman Reedus and naked Norman Reedus fetus.
I can't wait to see if it's a Metroidvania or a fighter game.
If they can bring Kojima's crazy all the way into the actual gameplay instead of just like coding the game in it, then I would be kind of interested to see how that turns out.
What kind of game features like, oh man, pressing left makes you go right. It's wacky. Your character explodes at random. Check this out. All the reds, we colored them entirely in with ketchup. This is what you guys want, right? What you paid for, the full Kojima experience. It just comes with a bottle of peyote and a gun with a single bullet.
That's all the game is. I think it was like, I'm almost remembering the title. It was like Dead Stranded or something. Stranded something. But whatever. Aside from Kojima just being Kojima, what else we got? We have a bunch of comics out on the table, as always.
Actually, interesting comics came out. Not just angry trash. Like, we looked for comics news. We looked, and the best I could find was just Marvel desperately trying to hype up a interest for a Squirrel Girl movie. Like, and the actress, like, that everyone pegged to play her was just like, yeah, she's a half squirrel, I guess.
Is that the same actress who was just like not enthused about it at all? Just like, yeah,
she's like half squirrel. I looked at an issue. It's all right. She's half squirrel. I could see being half squirrel. And like, there are people that, like, news, the networks are trying so hard to hype it. And Marvel's putting Squirrel Girl on top of everything right now.
Yeah.
And it's just not working. Nobody cares.
And they had the Deadpool Spider-Man issue where, like, Deadpool's daughter is all excited to watch the new episode of Squirrel Girl. If Deadpool's daughter loves it, you want to love it too.
What does Deadpool have to say about that?
He was just, like, he was being a good dad. Yeah, Deadpool has a kid in the Deadpool
How does
Spider-Man.
that happen?
I really have no idea, but I don't, like, he basically, like, I mean, this is from a few issues ago, so, like, if you're not already reading Deadpool Spider-Man, then you're lost, but it was, like, he's just essentially using his, trying to become friends with Spider-Man while at the same time using his friendship with Spider-Man so that he can get a reward for killing Peter Parker, because he doesn't know that Peter Parker is the same Spider-Man he's trying to kill.
Well, Deadpool just has a kid. Yeah, so sometimes they just show him hanging out with his kid.
Yeah, they had.
That's pretty great.
He goes to hang out with his kid on Thursdays, and it's pretty great. Just like me.
Who would have a kid with Deadpool, and who would grant him visitation rights of any kind?
I don't know if it's actual visitation rights because his kid was just hanging out in the backyard with a flashlight, and then him and Spider-Man just kind of sneaked in at the night.
No, that's even worse.
But like the kid knew what was up. Like she was all excited to watch. Like they were, I can't remember what it was.
That's
I think they were watching like 28 Days Later or something to get like some sort of horror movie. It was just like, but Dad, you can't close your eyes at the scary parts. You got to man up.
But what if that's just some kid Deadpool hired to play his kid? Just to mess with Spider-Man.
That'd be terrible. Like that'd be terrible and great. But I think like in the whole thing with this series is like he's genuinely trying to turn over a new leaf, and like he really wants to just be bros with Spider-Man.
Aww.
But at the same time, he's like there's this
still
whole
Deadpool.
Yeah, he's still Deadpool. He has this little like wheel that he keeps spinning to decide. Like actually, I guess he only did it in the first issue, but he has a little wheel that tells him whether he should be like. Lawful good or chaotic neutral or whatever he needs to be at this moment and stuff. So it's like he's still Deadpool, but he agreed with like the Avengers and with Spider-Man. Not like I'll only shoot rubber bullets and I'll do my best not to kill people. And like he runs over Mysterio with his car, and that's how the whole Mysterio thing ends for that issue. Like he just hits Mysterio with his car, but then he saves him with CPR, so he doesn't die.
God,
and it's like
he beats him almost to death.
Yeah, this stuff is so fun. I think I still have a couple issues to catch up on. Like I just finished the 4th issue.
That's the thing. They haven't sold me on Squirrel Girl being fun in the same way they have Deadpool. And they keep like trying to insist, she's that kind of character. In the same way they're trying that with Gwenpool, and it's still really just not landing at all.
Yeah,
and I mean that's kind of sad seeing them push it though, because it's just like there's no enthusiasm involved for any of them.
Yeah,
the response is just kind of like, yeah, I guess half squirrel.
Well, Deadpool's becoming so much more fun, like the same, like sort of fixing the same problem that we've talked about before with Harley Quinn. Like he's not just a psychopathic killer anymore. He's like a psychopath with a heart of gold. He's still absolutely insane, but he's like trying to be an actual hero.
They recognize that character doesn't need to be completely terrible.
Yeah.
To work. And then people actually kind of like that there's kind of a lovable side to him. That's alright. Like, Marvel needs a Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
DC really needs one too, but their Bugs Bunny, they just get like the extreme lunatics version. That was just like, yeah, I'm gonna murder ya! Woohoo! God, pointy edges! We thought this was gonna sell toys! Like, remember that? Remember Lunatics Unleashed?
No, I think I do.
The extreme Bugs Bunny show. And then they changed it because parents complained.
Were they
scary?
Were they in like a bunch of like edgy armor kind of bullshit or something? I vaguely remember that, but I don't think I ever saw the actual show or anything.
It's pretty bad. But that would be the DC version. That'd just be like, God, it'd just be deaths. Oh God, we're gonna find out, aren't we? The Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, no.
That's coming out next month.
Yep.
And they're trying so hard to hype it. Oh, they're still trying to hype that Batman v Superman extended cut where here's a video of fans apologizing to Zack Snyder.
That's not like it's one thing that the Zack Snyder thing got like completely taken over by like DC's need to plug the Justice League movie and stuff, and it's like, you know, like I would like to believe that there's the alternate cut where the editing actually made sense and the story actually fit together in some way, but that's not the one that went out. That's not the one that got
lie
put
would
in
be great to believe, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's not that I really can't believe that they put out this version that went out to every movie theater in the country, and they just secretly had this better one lying around that everyone knew was better, but they still had to put out the crap one. Yeah,
it's weird. It makes no sense. It's like, what, were all these scenes just waiting around to be finished? It was an editing thing? Does Zack Snyder just not know how to edit movies? Like none of this is acceptable, and people are they're trying to spin it as like this great thing. Like, we fixed it, you guys. Now Justice League is gonna be okay. Meanwhile, supposedly they released a teaser for the villain for the Justice League movie, and it's just like an evil-looking Superman.
Oh, right.
And it's like, guys, what are you? Just stop. Just stop. Just focus on Rebirth. Focus on Rebirth. Don't worry about your movies. Like, get people excited about your comics again, and then, then you can worry about Superman punching himself.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What's funny about that? Did we talk about Black Goku on the last?
No, we didn't. I don't think we did.
The current villain of Dragon Ball Super is just Goku, but he's evil.
In a black turtleneck.
And that's really the villain for the Justice League movie, supposedly. Is like exactly that. And it's like, come on, guys. You gotta do better than a cartoon.
Yeah, and I did take, I brushed through Superman Rebirth, but I had no desire to pick it up because in what I brushed through, it was, a large chunk of it was pretty much just scenes from the original Death of Superman that had been cleaned up to fit the new house style.
I've seen some preview pages here and there from the other Rebirth ones, but none of it, it's nothing I really I feel the need to complain about.
Yeah.
It's just nothing's really grabbing me. Like, it all feels competent, it all feels like they're trying to, definitely change the tone. Like, they went way too far in the other direction with New 52.
Yeah.
So they're trying to pull back on that, but we'll see how long it lasts. We'll see how long it takes before it just kind of gets boring.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be the real test, is whether or not they let their writers start telling, just start pushing the envelope a bit.
Yeah.
Not in the same way Marvel is, because I'll admit Marvel's just starting to annoy me the way everything is just, like, their aesthetic is a little too tied up into whatever is trendy at the moment.
Yeah, and they had I haven't gotten to it or looked at it much yet, but you said in the latest issue of Deadpool Spider-Man, they had a whole scene that was basically like the Civil War thing where they were just poking fun at DC, even though they were describing all the same problems that Civil War had.
Yes, and it's so painful. It's embarrassing. It's just because Spider-Man and Deadpool cease being characters for a moment, and it's just so that they can throw sass on DC for problems their movies entirely 100% have.
Yeah.
Where they make Spider-Man says, don't worry about setting up the next 8 movies, just make one good one. And it's like, but Avengers 2 and Civil War were completely bogged down by Marvel's need to, tie all these movies together and to give people a reason to be excited about the next. And they're really getting way too wrapped up in cute moments with their characters that don't really do anything to push those characters' stories forward, but just kind of exist to please the audience.
Yeah.
Like, that was all over Civil War, with, like, the stuff with the Vision and Scarlet Witch being cute together in the apartment. Just like, that stuff is fun, yes, but there's no substance to it. Also, I forgot why I brought that up.
Yeah, they didn't do much with it.
Oh right, the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, the Marvel thing, and then
they're right, but those movies have so many problems that they should not be taking time out of. They should not be taking time out of their comedy funny book to try and make serious salient points against their rival.
And meanwhile, their comic that's getting the big news is this rendition of Captain Hydra.
Yeah,
that's just like I haven't bothered to look at the second issue because
they need that Captain Hydra. That's 100% the kind of thing DC would do.
Yeah, it was like that when they put it out. It was tasteless, and it of course, especially to release that on Memorial Day weekend and to just But then the people reading it or the people who were even upset about it were giving them exactly what they wanted. That became a meme overnight and just. Got more publicity than it ever deserved because it was
took the wind out of Rebirth.
Hail Hydra splash page, almost in the same. It reminded me so much of the Green Lantern coming out of the closet splash page, but instead with Captain America as a Nazi. And
what do you mean? What did
just the fact that it was just
a page that was just I'm gay now and have always been in this universe,
and that. For that
instead of making it seem like a genuine effort.
Yeah, and for it to be just a point for them to have this big page with a really forced sense of character development. I mean, absolutely not comparing Green Lantern being gay to Captain America.
Well, no,
coming out as a
Nazi, the point isn't that there's a problem with either the.
Yeah, but just that it was completely forced, and they were. Just building this entire concept around an excuse to shock. I don't want to say shock the reader in comparison to the Green Lantern thing, but that was kind of the
thing. It's a very empty effort to make it feel like there's some progress or inclusion going on there. And really, that's the problem with a lot of what Marvel's doing is that they do have a lot of sincere efforts with stuff like Miss Marvel and Miles Morales. But then they kind of just got a lot of stuff that's just kind of skirting the edges and pandering to the internet crowd, like Squirrel Girl. And that's really why those efforts to get hype for a movie going just kind of fall flat. It's because there's not enough. It's so niche.
Yeah.
And that's really Marvel's aesthetic right now. Is they're trying to make niche trendy, and it's guys, as soon as niche becomes trendy, it stops being niche.
Yeah, that's a pretty big issue. But what do you think?
I don't know how to fucking pronounce it.
Yeah, well, I think it goes both ways. But back on to what we got onto that from them, making fun of DC and having that whole having the same issues. But then they're other
pushing way too hard on the DC thing.
Yeah, but the other
guys, we got it. You're number one. Now you don't get smug.
The other big project out of DC, though, the one we've been paying much more attention to, all of their Hanna-Barbera reboots to mixed reception. What all did we get from that this week? There's Future Quest number 2.
Yes, they finally released the next Future Quest.
Yeah, Flintstones number 1.
Yes, which was surprisingly good.
Let's go Future Quest number 2 first. We talked about the last Future Quest a bit, and it's like what wasn't as impressed by the writing in that one. Like, it seemed pretty clunky, but liked the art style for just being some fun on model Alex Toth. But then there were the problems of the artist switching.
And they still have that issue too.
They still have it, which is like very worrisome that they're not having anyone to actually sit on this. Like, it seems like they're still trying to find a right fit.
Well, I think one of our professors pointed out that it's very obviously a deadline thing.
Yeah.
And I think to a point they can't afford the artists they want to do it full time, so they get what they can out of them each month, and then the rest is just filled in with who they can get. And it really affects the book. Like, this is the one I wanted to like.
Well, it didn't
I was prepared it's the one I was excited about.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why this one was kind of disappointing. I think it didn't have.
Nothing's happened.
It didn't have as much of an obvious artist change issue as the last one, where all of the inking just changed halfway through the book
for the worse.
And but this one did have a lot of those other problems. Like you said, there were issues where the costume changed for one of the characters in the middle of the book.
Some of the Space Ghost characters have updated costumes and character designs. And over the course of a page, this one character's costume reverts back to her classic look. And it's very obvious, a mistake. It makes me think that they had either that he drew it wrong, throughout the issue, and they only had time to correct those pages. Something happened there. Because it just goes from being on model for the new design to being on model for the old, and it's completely jarring and obvious.
So all of the interesting things are happening behind the scenes, whereas nothing really interesting is happening in the comic.
Yeah, it all feels like set up for a bigger adventure, and
two
in no hurry to get there.
Yeah, 2 issues in, and it's still all exposition, and I was pissed off last time that Space Ghost only just showed up for a minute portion at the end of the book, and then this time it's a minute portion at the beginning of the book.
Yeah, and it's in a flashback that they don't explain.
And then, him actually meeting Haji and Johnny Quest is immediately derailed by him being brought back to, through whatever the Toth portal that brings together the unified Tothiverse.
Yeah. And it's pretty disappointing, because it wouldn't be hard to have just focused on 1 or 2 of these properties at a time and weave a really good story out of it.
Yeah.
But there's really no effort to.
It's I don't know, I feel like there is effort in the sense that it's that they're still playing around with the art and trying to find the right fit so much, but that really should have been figured out.
Well, it feels like all the enthusiasm is wrapped up in mixing these properties and not anything in telling a good story with them.
And can we talk about the Hawkeye's or the Hawkeye the Birdman splash page where he flies in and isn't even looking at the monster he's shooting at, isn't even looking in the direction he's flying. He's just looking off into nowhere.
It looks kind of like they traced the classic Birdman pose with him flying out, and then they realized they needed to have him shooting, so his arm's just flailing off to the side. Yeah. He's just like, Birdman! I got him, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Johnny Quest is just like, what the hell are you doing? We're children.
Yeah,
you're not even looking.
He gets immediately taken down by a guy with a net.
He singed Haji. Yeah, he gets taken down by some guys with a net. It's like, good job. Woo, our hero.
I was really excited for Birdman because they had the whole thing going on where he's a secret agent or whatever. It felt like a very like a very Mulder and Scully thing he had going on with, I can't remember her name,
I don't know.
the character that he entered in with in the first issue.
Forgettable character we're not going to remember in a year or ever.
But yeah, so that was not the second issue we were hoping for, but holy crap, the first issue that we had no idea we were going to get, the Flintstones comic, came out.
Shockingly good, considering that previous image they released with Amanda Connor and the dinosaur foot, where she couldn't even bother to draw textures, so it's all just fill it in with artists painting dinosaur scales. I gotta go lay down.
And that was like just the dinosaur foot hanging off the edge of the picture, and the saber-toothed tiger that's just haphazardly placed in the middle, like none of it made any sense.
She very obviously just drew a bunch of stuff, composited it, and then got it done in a hurry. And that's the image they've been flogging for months.
And that was the only thing they put out for it. They didn't put out. I didn't see any previews for the Flintstones, and they were putting out.
I had to go out of my way to find previews for it.
Oh yeah, right. It was only like a day or two before we found the actual issue that they put out like a 3 or 5 page preview, and that was with how much they were hyping the hell out of like the Scooby-Doo previews and some of the Future Quest stuff, and even Wacky Raceland.
Yeah, Wacky Raceland got more attention than the Flintstones.
Which is ridiculous, because the Flintstones was amazing.
That's the only one that feels like a coherent effort.
Yeah, the art is fantastic. It actually has like a really cohesive style to it. It's not like they just comic booked up the Flintstones.
Yeah, it feels like an effort to make this, like, these versions of them their own characters.
Yeah, and oh man,
not just Batman or Fred Flintstone by way of Jim Lee.
Yeah, and very, very memorable. Like sort of like the modernized and somewhat hipster version of the Flintstones live action movies that came out. Where
it has a little bit of that to it.
Yeah,
but it works.
Yeah, it works great. Like they have this really like weird, like quasi darkness going on in their world, but it's all in service to the jokes and the puns that Flintstones is pretty much based around.
Feels like they wanted to make it feel like a kind of Modern Family, kind of like a pretentious modern sitcom.
Oh yes, if it goes more in that direction, I would like absolutely love it. I love the hell out of Modern Family, and that they could definitely pull that off.
And what keeps that from being like an insult is that the book has a really sharp sense of humor. It absolutely nails what it needs to, both in terms of just being funny and being funny in a way that makes sense for the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Like, there's some really good visual jokes with the animal appliances and tools.
Yeah.
And it's like, I loved all of it. There's like some clunky bits of dialogue, like Wilma drops a Sky Mall reference that doesn't even attempt to be prehistoric, it's just Sky Mall.
Yeah, and the same with like the guy in the art gallery who's asking if he can vape, and it's like he's just holding a twig or something. Like, where does that phrase fit in here? And like the fact that they made me think that hard about it, but it was pretty much those.
Like, there's no joke there outside of him holding a twig, but it's funny.
Yeah,
and that's just like, you could tell the script just said have him holding something stupid. But yeah, that's that's the closest this comes to really just being ill-defined. And like, that's the kind of thing they can just kind of think harder about in the future. Like, I'm all on board. I'm excited to see another issue of this.
Yeah,
which is rare for a DC book for me right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the way they played off the whole, like, Fred's water buffalo gang is actually like the equivalent of a Vietnam War support, like Vietnam troops support group.
Yeah, and then they hint that the war they were in was kind of ridiculous because it involved cavemen.
Yeah. And just some absolute, like, some horrifying stuff, but it's still all in service to like the kind of puns and goofy humor you could expect from the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And that's like the whole book is in service to that, and it's still just like amazing art. Like, I absolutely love the effort that was put into the the character designs and the backgrounds and environments while still feeling really familiar to the Flintstones universe.
Yeah, it looks like a prehistoric setting, but it doesn't look like they just like, oh, here's New York City, but it's made of rock now. They like kept that aesthetic and it works.
Yeah.
And with the jokes, it's like important to point out that Scooby Apocalypse doesn't work because it's completely humorless. It's joyless.
Did we talk about the?
We'll come back to Scooby when we get to Scrappy. When Scrappy Doo shows up.
Oh yeah.
We just put it down forever.
Yeah.
We just be like, "Vet, hey Doc, shut it down." It'd just be like, "Go to sleep, Scoob. Just go to sleep." In the morning, you can have a Scooby snack. Make a big sandwich. Go to sleep. Just close your eyes. For now, but and Wrecky Raceland, which we're not going to discuss at all because it's not worth discussing.
Yeah, we did discuss
it has
how
jokes,
we don't want to discuss.
They're not funny. And the Flintstones is both funny and it has a very clear tone and voice. So, really, it would be nice if more of that leaked into the other books. Like, Scooby, I would say, God, Scooby's the other one that has the most potential to be actually interesting, and they're completely blowing it with melodrama.
Yeah.
And Wacky Raceland is just a complete mess. They should just cancel that. That should just be canceled right away.
It really should be.
That never should have made it to print. That's just miserable.
But what else?
I think that's it I think that's all it for DC.
for the Hanna-Barbera stuff. But we also got, like, we touched on the Spider-Man and Deadpool stuff, but I was also while I was at Heroes Con, I went to a live penciling panel with Ben Caldwell and Sanford Green, and like I went there because we've been talking about the A-Force and the Ben Caldwell stuff so much, but I was not super familiar with Sanford Green's work, and he's the artist behind Powerman and the Iron Fist's current run right now, and that's after that panel, like I was so excited about his answers to like creating like really just environments that have a lot of personality and effort into them without sacrificing too much of the environment, I guess, like without having those issues that we've discussed before where it becomes just characters over a gradient for way too much of the story or anything. So I picked up all of Powerman and the Iron Fist, and so far I love it. It's got like the same, I understand definitely why they were put together in the same panel, because his characters have a lot of the same personality that like a lot of the same like exuberance and personality that Ben Caldwell's characters have, but the style and the stylization that he puts into his backgrounds and building the environment and all that are just really impressive. I'm 2 issues in and loving it so far, so we'll like come back to that when I get through more of it. But you flipped through that first issue. I don't know if you had any like strong opinions on it or anything.
Covered it. Like it's very well efforted. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really read it. I just looked through it, but the art is very articulate in the choice of detail.
Yeah, no, that's it's fun stuff, and that's especially coming off of like the Jessica Jones Netflix series and how they fit Luke Cage into that, and Power Man is definitely had a resurgence. I think Luke Cage is getting his own Netflix series after the events of Jessica Jones, but I'm not sure like if that's just in progress or if that's going to come out alongside like the next season of Jessica Jones or what.
They'll probably try to stagger it a bit, but
yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of did. They're doing, I think, all of the. I don't know if this is really their plan or not, but all of the stuff that Marvel is doing with Netflix is like all of the Hell's Kitchen superheroes. So like all of the gritty, like shitty parts of New York kind of stuff being smashed together into like something that references the bigger Marvel universe, but it doesn't like it develops a completely different theme from it. It's not all just like men in tights or robot suits flying around and saving the Earth. It's just people.
Jessica Jones is never gonna have to punch Ultron.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And it's like they deal with a lot more like close to home, like more intimate scale kind of issues, and I think that gives them a lot more room to develop some really good characters compared to the stakes that Marvel and DC's main universes always have to put out there, where it's like, they need to nut up and save the whole world and try and comprehend all that right now. We'll show you a dead child, and then that's all you get to try and deal with the scale of the events that we're dealing with. Whereas like Daredevil was very much about issues of poverty and living in more impoverished sections of a big city and stuff. And then Jessica Jones was very much about rape culture and in sort of the same setting. So I don't know where they would take Luke Cage if it is a Netflix show that they're developing in the Hell's Kitchen portion of the Marvel universe, but I'd be interested to see it, because the actor they got to play that, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the actor they got to play Luke Cage also did a really great job in the Jessica Jones series.
Gotcha.
But so that could be a lot of fun. I don't know anything about Iron Fist, but I'm in a position to learn now. I don't even really know what his powers are, other than he's really good at kung fu.
Powerman or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Luke Cage and Power Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Fist and Power Man Face.
The Iron Power Fist Cage, Jessica Jones' cursing daughter, whatever.
Yeah. Swearing baby.
Yeah, it's like they have those cute little scenes too, because like in the comics that they're selling in mainstream comic stores, they can't go as dark as the Netflix series have been going, so they have this.
No, in the first, a lot of fun.
Yeah, in the first couple issues, they have those fun little moments where like, because Power Man can't stop swearing like him and Jessica Jones are wont to do. Their daughter is just cursing up a storm, and he spends the rest of the issue using words like fiddle faddle, and that's pretty fun, and like a good way to work that different kind of audience into the story, as opposed to just having his character completely change from one medium to the next.
Yeah, and that's really a problem Marvel has, is that whoever is writing those characters, they can potentially just become completely different characters.
Yeah.
And like sometimes that's even a problem within, like with one writer, like I mentioned Gwenpool, and she is a completely different character depending on what book Chris Hastings is writing her for.
Yeah.
To the point that it makes it really hard to get into her own book because of it.
Yeah, and that's, with how much of a wide net they're trying to spread, it's like I don't want to see Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or Daredevil showing up in like the Marvel Babies animated series or whatever they're doing on the Disney Channel or something.
What is that going on?
I don't know. It's
like that's where they'll put the Squirrel Girl show.
They have like 10 different Marvel series running on like Disney XD or whatever now, and I have no idea where they stand with that.
Disney would never make a Squirrel Girl show because they'll realize there's no point in pandering to hipsters. They don't need their own Steven Universe.
Oh man.
And then they'll make one and it'll be great. You don't have to be, hey guys, I was wrong.
You think they could Deadpool that character?
Huh?
You think they could Deadpool that character?
No.
Make something work out despite...
Not with Ryan North writing her. Not with Ryan North in charge there. It'll just forever be like skirting whatever.
Well, it's like, he's
Tumblr thinks is gonna work for the character.
Yeah, Well, like they'll probably hang on to that character long past Ryan North, like whenever that trade or that run finishes off.
She'll just go back in the closet. They'll just forget, like it'll go back to, oh yeah, I guess she beat Dr. Doom or whatever that one time. She went to college. Oh, she made friends.
Yeah.
What an exciting character.
Yeah, but I mean, how many Deadpool series do they have running right now? Like in addition to the the movie and everything.
Too many.
Yeah, they have like 5 different Deadpool series running, and they still like. I feel like they still managed to at least keep his character together somewhat. But then again, he's also been running for like 20 years plus, or I'm not sure about the exact time frame, but long enough that they definitely have more to work with.
Well, Squirrel Girl annoys me in the same way that like Rocket Raccoon does, and it's like they just mashed words together. And it's like these aren't supposed to be superheroes. I was like, why stop there? Why not like Toaster Melee? It's just a toaster that just like gets thrown at people. And it's just like, here comes Toaster Melee, prepare to get burned. And it's like, he beat Dr. Doom once. Yeah, that's his entire character. Is one time a writer decided to have him beat up a serious hero. And that was the entire joke. But it's like, what if it wasn't a joke?
And just how their entire character development is centered around irony.
Yes, exactly. That's what it feels like. Like, hey guys, we're enjoying a comic book. Can you believe it? And it's like, yeah, no, I can't. So how long has it been?
You're sitting on like 45 minutes, so I think it's good enough time to wrap up. We got through a good chunk of series, and we still
once the summer is up, we can have more the episodes will start to feel more like episodes again, unless just like us chilling.
Well, like we've been covering a lot of stuff, so
yeah, it's hard without the whole crew.
Yeah,
Momo went back to Momotopia. His parents' villa in Dubai.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up there for today.
We'll come back. The horse is moving. We gotta go help the horse.
No, yeah, Sienna's gonna be our neighbor. We gotta bring her in here so that she can not talk. We got before the next episode.
Sienna can. It's like she can be included in every episode now, whether she likes it or not. Just like she does when she's actually in the room, she just doesn't say anything. It's like, Sienna, what's the difference?
Oh yeah, well she's been sitting here in the room with us the whole time. Sienna, what do you think about that?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll just refer to her whether she's here or not.
We'll actually we'll
That's
try to see
a better way to put it.
We'll try to see Finding Dory or something, and then we'll bring everyone in for a conversation that everyone can be included in. But that's it for today's episode of the podcast. Affiliated with SCAD. All right, see you next time.
Bye.